How's it going?
Uh, you know,
Really? No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
You don't know?
I don't know.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I do. I feel great. Yeah, I feel damn good.
I brought several,
Delicate is
several
here.
stories to tell you about.
I'm excited to hear your stories. I have a couple myself. I've got on the main card, the main story, the first things first is that I've been reading Anthony Hopkins. He's been talking a lot about, I don't know if he's writing a memoir or has a memoir coming out, or if he's like, instead of having a memoir, he's just having interviews where he's uttering out these kinds of memoir-like situations. But
Let me see.
he's talking about his 20-year estrangement with his daughter, who is in her 40s.
I think that happens a lot with celebrities.
So they're estranged, and he sounds
they work a ton.
like, I only read the interview, but he sounds like really bitter about it. Like it's not bitter. It sounds so utterly painful that he dismisses it. That's exactly. So it comes off as bitter. So it would be easier to read it as bitter than what it probably really is, which is Anthony Hopkins feeling like a fucking severe, like deep pain.
He does have a memoir.
Is it out now, or is it recent?
No, it looks like they're advertising it now. So it's titled "We Did Okay, Kid," a memoir.
Yeah. So these are the bits coming out, and
Covers
it's like,
his struggles with alcoholism, his path to sobriety, and the development of his iconic roles, offering a candid look at his personal and professional journey. It's going to be released November 4th, 2025. So all of this is publicity for his book.
yeah. Well, it's so crazy, because, it's just, you don't know what's going on in people's lives. And looking at Anthony Hopkins, who was like an actor who I was just, like everybody else, mesmerized by and just held in such high regard, just revered in every possible way. And here he is, like, living through a suffering, These old English actors, man, they fucking drank, dude. They just drank. Like Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris, they used to do plays just hammered. Really? Fucking straight hammered. And then they would fuck with each other and like move props and shit and get all just, and they'd be showing up drunk and things aren't where they're supposed to be. And they're in the middle of like a full paying audience, and they're, these world-class actors. And for whatever reason, it's a weird thing.
Can you imagine being that comfortable as a performer that you can then just like...
They were just masters beyond comprehension.
Fuck with it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like knowing your instrument absolutely to perfection.
Right.
I know nothing like that. Like, I have no skills like those skills. Like, they had a mastery it's just almost incomprehensible to me. Something I obviously admire. And
I cannot imagine being that comfortable as a performer that you would want to prank somebody you're supposed to do a scene with in order to like who knows whether it's going to fuck everything up. For excitement.
I saw like a couple of interviews or something, like video, interviews of like Richard Harris telling the stories.
What?
And just me
so
I was just howling, but at the same time you're like, they were just crooked drunk all the time.
That's a good descriptor. Crooked drunk.
And then you got like Anthony Hopkins, who is now talking about his battle with alcoholism.
Well, here's the thing that I think that a lot of adults don't recognize about their relationship with their adult children is that you only get the relationship that you built. Yep. Right? Like,
well, you do.
It's up to the parent to determine what the child's relationship is like, so that when they're an adult, they have a nice association with that person and they want to stick around.
Everything at every point in your life with somebody like a family member is going to weigh in on your relationship with them, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to like predict that they can't ever reconcile and have great times, even while he's 81, 84, whatever it is.
Estrangement is often like the reason why people can reconcile. Because often it's like the time apart allows you to understand the situation in a way that you can't if you're being constantly triggered by the stress of whatever the other person is bringing into your life, Like, if, for instance, if his kid, I don't know if this is the situation, but if his kid was like really triggered by his drinking, then having a separation is the only thing that's going to be able to allow them to sort of understand their relationship better and understand their parent better. Because if you're constantly being confronted by a drunk person who's doing all the obnoxious alcoholic stuff, like denying that there's a problem and making it all about, turning the tables and darvoing everybody,
Yeah.
there's just no way to find a middle ground if you're constantly being bombarded by those weird alcoholism tactics. But the estrangement often puts peace to that problem so that you can like better understand the situation, and a lot of times that's where reconciliation builds. I don't know.
Well, he seems to have very deep pain. He has some of his answers in these interviews were just like really they're just ice cold. Like when asked, like I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't really know, but the sum and substance of the question would be something like, do you want to see your daughter again? And he was, I don't care. Listen. If you can't let go, if you can't move on, like he said something like that, like he's using these really harsh, still very hurt, sort of framing, like where it's not, there's no olive branch in there. There's no love in it, even though I think that you can, or I was able to, and maybe it's in part my imagination, but sort of feel the pain, all of it laced very deeply with.
I get the same sense of that too.
Severe regret.
Like, oh, you're still hurt by it. That's why you're defensive, or like you have apathy about it. That's another way that people will communicate their hurts, when they're just like, I don't care, whatever, it doesn't bother me. Like if you were actually healed, you would have a very different attitude about the situation,
Yeah, totally. Stacy's here and Bobo's here. Delicate's here. I think others are here, but those are the ones in chat. What's up, you guys?
It's good to hang with everybody. It's weird that they're promoting his memoir like that because it definitely overshadows much more of his story. You'd think that they would want to talk about some of his iconic roles in the rollout of his memoir.
It's in there. It's apparently right. I now I recall. Didn't you?
I'm only seeing the headline about his kid.
Yeah. Well, I think they're getting the headline grab stuff, right? Like it's like, when people they want the tea. People want the tea. So what's the tea, Anthony Hopkins? Well, I was an alcoholic and the latest thing that he's out with is that he left his wife because he feared that he would become violent. So then when you add it, now you just have to put those two things together to see that this guy was a raging alcoholic who was probably terrified, with his life and career. This guy created this image that was really held up. Like it really held up. This guy really, and it ain't fucking easy. It's real easy to slip and fall, man. And he was, I guess, sewing it all together with a lot of fucking booze.
Well, I'm interested. Are you going to read it?
I'm very interested.
I guess it's working.
Maybe we're going to become the new celebrity book review club.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice, because I watched those this celebrity book club, celebrity memoir book club, or whatever the fuck they're called. Those girls were really. First of all, I don't appreciate when people spoil everything in a book when they're doing a book review.
Yeah, I don't like their motto at all.
Yeah, they're like,
we read them so you.
We
don't
read
have
them
to.
so that you don't have to. It's like, why would you not want people to? The whole point of reviewing a book that you enjoy is so that other people would read it.
Yeah.
Like so. I feel like that's really talking down to your listener. We're like, you guys don't want to read books. We'll read the book so you don't have to.
Yeah,
we'll just gossip.
Or just like they're trying. But it's worked for them. They have hundreds of thousands of followers. They tour. They sell out. I've checked their prices. They get like $75 for people to come and watch them do their podcast. So it worked.
I did see a conversation with them where they were just being really nasty about the author, like really like catty gossip type shit.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it wasn't. They didn't stick with the book review. They just wanted to hate on somebody.
When I released my book,
yeah,
they showed up in some comments. I can't remember where. Oh, it was on TikTok. It was like the first hit that I got, which was like we got like 500,000 views, and they showed up and they kind of dissed me. Actually, they were really shitty.
How'd that go? What happened?
Somebody asked if they were going to cover it, and they kind of went. Pfft. They went like they made an eye roll at me, basically, or about me. And they were like, I don't think so, or whatever. It was because they were getting dinged, a bunch.
Yeah.
Like people were like, oh, at celebrity fucking memoir, you got to check this out or whatever. Check out this book.
Well, maybe you're reading into it because that sounds like a lot.
No.
That sounds like a lot of attitude in something that you just read in, a text. What I'm saying is like,
I'm highly perceptive.
I wonder whether they didn't.
Okay.
That's true.
Animals
I wonder
talk to me.
Listen, I wonder whether they didn't want to cover your book because you are not the celebrity. And so their like celebrity memoirs are written by
I don't
celebrities.
care. I don't like them anymore.
I mean, you're a celebrity in my heart, but I just mean like you're not like a household name.
They call me a pub. I forget what they call me.
One day, when your name is in lights, and you're on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Anywho, Sir Anthony Hopkins, his memoir comes out. It's going to be a little painful for him, or it was painful for him. You know, I just wonder how these memoirs go, because I feel like these memoirs are like them and they're talking and arguing with the writer. No, God damn it, that's not what happened. You know, and they're just sitting there going, okay, Anthony, okay.
You don't think he wrote it himself?
You know, I'm imagining things. I don't know. You'd like to believe that, and I know that there are certainly many who do. I'm sure what's his name did, you know, the guy who, South African guy, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Yeah, he wrote his own memoir.
I think he did. Yeah. I read it.
Did you?
Yeah. No, I did. Yes, I did. I read it. I wrote the whole thing by myself with all my fingers.
Stacey R said, and Hopkins was knighted, right? Sir Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine if he left that part out?
that his knighting?
Yeah, if he just brushed over it, and then there was this time where I had to go travel for this knighthood, you know, knighting, whatever ceremony. And then anyway, this other thing happened. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. I guess it's not
if he made it seem like it was totally no big deal, total inconvenience.
Yeah. I guess it's not that I don't think that they can have messy lives or, you know, live imperfectly, because I certainly know that. I mean,
Who, celebrities?
Yeah, I've been among them. I just think that it does become fascinating when you're looking at people who, you know, who you had this great reverence for, and to see them as fragile as they are, you know. He just seemed like such a strong and centered guy, you know, alcoholism and.
I think I would judge him I would judge him poorly if his memoir were poorly written. Because, you know, you think somebody that spent their entire life translating Shakespeare for the stage and being so iconic and in developing all of these incredibly perfect renditions of these roles. Like we just saw Manhunter and we saw Brian Cox play Hannibal Lecter. And it just didn't occur to me that anybody else had ever done it other than Anthony Hopkins, you know, because he's so perfect. It would just be really incredible if you cracked open his memoir and he was just really dull, bad grammar, you know?
It must be cool to be a connoisseur of performances. You know, when you're you know, to be somebody who's seen, you know, 10, 20, 30 different versions of Hamlet.
Yeah.
Because it's so interesting, because then that's Shakespeare's perspective, you know, because Shakespeare would have seen.
A lot of these older English actors are like this. Judi Dench was on the Graham Norton show. I just saw a clip of it because everybody was sharing it. It was so incredible. And he was just talking about how she has a reputation for being so skilled at the interpretation for the stage of Shakespeare. And she just rattled off a fucking sonnet. It's just in her head. These people, they just have it all memorized because they've performed it so many times.
Yeah.
And there's just there's a Shakespearean sonnet for everything. So you could just.
I knew several actors who could bust out. Pedro could bust out any part of. I mean, there's almost no Shakespeare that he probably wouldn't be able to just bust out.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I really admire that. I think that's so special. That's such it's one of my favorite party tricks. I guess it's because I'm a Virgo, but he
has this very
when people can recite poetry or recite a scene or just anything, you know, I'm just wow, you just pulled that out of your head and it's perfect.
He has this very he has this really crazy way of memorizing lines. Pedro does. I didn't know this because at the time he'd never gotten anything, you know, lead, you know,
where anybody
he'd be doing small parts.
Yeah, nobody was asking him.
So apparently, you know, with these, he has a massive note system that he uses to break down his performance before he begins in a feature film.
That's very smart.
It looks really intense. It looks like he puts the work in. No, he didn't just show up and be like, okay, man, I think I got this.
Yeah,
Which
right.
is like, think how Leo does a lot of his work.
Have you ever had to memorize something long, like a monologue or something?
Yes.
How do you do it?
I did it once and I failed. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was bad at it from the start and then I never really got another chance.
There's this tactic where you can do, they call it spaced repetition. And there's like this, psychologists that studied learning processes, right?
Yeah.
Where, like if you read something and then you remind yourself to read it again at these spaced intervals, your mind will more easily commit it to memory. So you could do this about like an entire area of study where it's like if you're a medical student or something, you could just review each chapter or whatever, each like quiz, questionnaire or whatever in these spaced intervals, and you'll end up just storing it all in your head perfectly because that's the way our brains work. So it might be that that's what his like note system is he's probably doing a few of these things. Like he's color coding.
Yeah.
He's doing the spaced repetition. He's doing like all these other different learning tactics. I would definitely need to do something like that because I am terrible at memorizing. I would have to do some. I would have to employ all of the tricks.
I have to I haven't tried to memorize in a long time. So I don't know if I'd be good or not,
It's much easier to just learn a thing and then just say your way of saying it. And maybe that's what people do.
Maybe I'll go do a play one day.
I always thought it would be really fun to just like learn monologues just as a hobby. Just learn them and perform them for nobody, like how, you're a musician. You just like will learn a song on guitar. And then that's just the process of doing that is what's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a musician, but yeah, I mean, I try to learn songs once in a while. Most of the time I just noodle.
You're saying you want to perform?
Yeah. I've thought about it for a long, long time, like doing a play. I've thought about it for a very long time.
Someone else's play?
Yeah. Or maybe even my own, actually. Now that you put it, yeah. I could write myself, I bet you, a fucking badass, 2-person show. I bet you I could.
Perform it outside in the park?
Yeah,
Put
maybe.
Out flyers?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I'll tell you, man, something I thought about doing a long time ago was like, before COVID, was putting together a mini crew and doing a YouTube channel where we teach and examine and just like try to learn from improvisation. And so, every week I write something for the week and we bring in a new cast. I was going to see if, I was going to check out and see if Sonny from Small Group, if he wanted to do it. And so we would use the opportunity to teach lighting. We would use the opportunity to teach acting, directing, improvisation on a weekly basis by just going through this, all in this experimental, sort of experimental film, I guess, house or whatever.
And so the channel would just be behind the scenes of all of that?
No, it would be literally to teach it to everyone in the room and to those watching.
No. I mean, but like your daily work is like filming everything you're doing.
Correct. It's like a mad amount of work. Yeah. Like we'd have to have a full crew for it. Like it's a show. Mm-hmm. It's not like a 2-man, hey, let's get together and do this. I would need editors and, I need a team for sure. And like, it would take so long, like, to light it, it would be like a day's work if it's just Sonny and me, gripping for him basically, like, and I'm, so anyway.
Well, it's a good idea. I think that if we ever find ourselves in a bigger city where you've got more resources,
Yeah.
Human resources, I mean. Stacey R. said, Dale and Angela do a pretty good 2-person show every weekday from 6 to 8. I really enjoy it.
That's so awesome. I know, I'll tell you, I'm going through these. I haven't gone through the last 2 lives, but I'm going through them and I'm starting to like post. By the way, if you get a chance to check out the Superman review, and like I said about these, like these are cuts that you guys have probably already been through because you guys hang out at the lives, but these are cuts of them. So
you make us look much better.
Yeah, this is us cutting out me doing like staring at the fucking into the ether.
Into the middle distance.
Yeah, into the middle distance.
Lost in thought.
Oh, the middle distance. I don't know what that is or where that is, but it sounds like...
Oh, you know what that looks like though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Staring into the middle distance. Is
Donald Trump and his cognitive test, basically. Who, by the way, he's a genius. Apparently, he took a cognitive test, a very standard one. And he is a genius. Good news.
Did you want to bring up something else? I have a few things I wanted to tell you about.
Yeah, I'll just get through the
Yeah, cool.
The last one, and then I'll get into my stuff after you get through your stuff. But Colin Farrell he's talking. He's spilling a little tea for his Minority Report. He apparently
what do you mean for his Minority Report?
He was in Minority Report with Tom Cruise,
right?
And he's spilling a little tea. He said that Tom Cruise was definitely not happy because he went out and got like wasted the night before. Did Colin? Before he showed up, and then he had to do his scene. It took 46 takes.
What?
Yeah, he said it went terrible. I was just thinking about
why would he do that?
Why would he get wasted?
Yeah.
Well, because you're young, you're Irish.
Anxious or something?
He's Irish.
No, I know, but
It's like find me an Irish person not willing to get wasted.
That must be like one of those like self-sabotage. Like I'm so nervous about this job I got to do tomorrow that I'm just going to completely sabotage.
It's nerves.
Yeah, right.
He was showing up across from fucking Tom Cruise.
In a Spielberg movie.
Dude, I don't know how, in a Spielberg movie, so much of me would be in trouble. Like my head would be swimming. No, you would
never do that to yourself. You'd be like, I am going to eat a good meal. I'm going to get to bed early. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. Sore joints.
I would have sore hips and fucking leg. I would have paced 20 to 30 miles the night before. Mm-hmm. I would not have slept. My eyes would be stinging and horrible.
You have to sleep.
To show up for my Tom Cruise, my opposite Tom Cruise.
Your Spielberg
movie? I guess I'm not built for like mad success because like there's some people who are like, bring it. Actually, I would probably nail it if I was fucking in the spot.
No, you would take it seriously for sure.
Of course I would. Absolutely. I'd go.
Have a good breakfast?
For sure. I'd go so
well,
big
I guess
on
not
it.
because the call time is probably like fucking 5 a.m. or some shit. That's why I'd never be cut out for the show business, dude. You have to wake up so early. I'm a zombie before noon.
I hope we can have like we are a 2-person show, so to speak. But I hope that we end up like bringing in guests.
You wanna bring in a third? It sounds so bad.
And we got Tiny Pineapple, so you might want to stop.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I seriously like.
So why is Colin Farrell telling this
interviews
story?
and guests, and I want that. What's that? Because I think we'll have so much fun when we get to that stage.
Maybe we'll have Colin Farrell on.
So that's why it's important to keep loving this live. You got to keep loving the live because
we need to have Colin Farrell on so we can ask him what the fuck was he thinking.
We would have a ball with that guy. 100%. We'd have such a good time. Anyway, I just thought it was right. What were you thinking? I would really love to know some of the backstory. Maybe there is more of a backstory. I only did read the headline, but I fucking loved the headline. It just got my head swimming with, what would I do in that situation? But also, I totally relate to what he did and why he went through, or what he went through. I mean,
he's like, man, I'm really nervous. You know what I need? A couple drinks.
It's an easy thing to do because it loosens you the fuck up, and you're like, okay. But then all of a sudden, you're 6 in, you're 7 in, and you're like, this could be bad.
Yep.
This just got ugly. I remember. Well, here's the thing. So we got to Denmark with Don's Plum. So I'm about to start working with Lars von Trier's studio to put out my movie. I get off the plane, and we get greeted by this crazy dude, Lars Niels Raskin, I think was his name, or Niels. Oh God, I don't even know his name. He was so ready to party. And I won't even tell you how crazy it got, but it got like absolutely fucking crazy. And it was also happened to be the Danish version of the Academy Awards. And in fact, Cider House Rules was nominated. So I was sitting getting absolutely fucking wasted with practical strangers who were treating me like brethren. Because we got the DiCaprio movie where Lars is there, Peter's there. We're at this fucking event. We're just getting wasted out of our fucking minds.
And Toby's in Cider House Rules, right?
Yeah, and Toby's in Cider House. So they played a clip of Toby while I was sitting there. I was like, I can't fucking believe this is happening. But the point of the story is that I got and I don't even know what time it was before before I woke up. And when I woke up, I was late. Jerry Metters was banging up because we were in hotels. We each had our own room at that time until we got an apartment. And Jerry was banging on my door. And I'm like, what the fuck? Jerry's like, Dale, we have to leave. The car's downstairs. I'm in some state of undress from the night before that I have no actual accounting of, no memory whatsoever of. And Jerry's like, the car's downstairs.
It's probably what happened to Colin Ferrell, too.
My breath stinks like a distillery.
Wait, what were you supposed to go do that morning?
It was going to go meet the team. I'm going to go meet the team, the whole Danish.
And you're like still drunk from the night before.
Still drunk. Fucking, my breath would cure, would sanitize.
Probably not.
And I show up at that meeting, dude, and it was not good. We were late. Everyone's waiting. We were good and late because of me. I'm trying to sober up. Oh, and they knew how drunk I was. They were all fucking there. And all of them they look like they just got back from church.
Why'd they do it to you?
Oh, man, they got me. Why'd they do it to me? I was very upset at myself. I was the worst way I could have kicked off that relationship, 100%.
Yeah.
Talk about bad impressions. I showed up and got belligerent. I mean, it was one of the executive producers of Don's Plum. He's actually got an executive producer credit.
Well, you were under a lot of stress, and I feel like it just doesn't take much to just crack that way open.
It was also my first time traveling abroad.
Yeah.
I was a wreck. I was an absolute wreck. And, I had a propensity for drinking too much.
It turned out okay?
The night?
No, the meeting.
It was one of the worst I've ever had. But yeah, sure, fine. It was fine. Whatever.
So just like with Colin Farrell, right? He's the one telling the story about how terrible he did.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard the story from Tom Cruise or Steven Spielberg. So they probably just didn't care so much because they're Danes and they drink a ton.
No, they cared. I guarantee you that Tom Cruise put that shit in his head and went like, dude, no, I don't want to work with that guy because I don't know if he's what's gonna show up the next day.
Right.
The actor or the drunk. Anyway, I feel stupid about even telling the story but it's actually one of my regrets, like one of my life regrets. I actually will sit back and think some days and be like, man, I wish I had just gotten off that plane, because I just felt like I got off on the wrong foot in Denmark from the start. And I just felt like I was like tilted.
I'm sure it doesn't matter.
It was about me. It wasn't about like, the grand scheme of things. I mean,
yeah, but why are you still worried about it? You got too drunk?
Anxiety, whatever, it was, I got, but it was like, it wasn't, I got too drunk. It was like Lars von Trier's fucking company, it was like in front of all of them.
Yeah, but he's an alcoholic.
Well, later I found out that he was at least as wasted as me.
You were probably in good company.
Dude, they were the ones getting me wasted. They were bringing the drinks like they were skulling like crazy. Skull! It wasn't the first time. We also went to it was like a Viking holiday. And
what?
It was the craziest.
What's
it was
a Viking holiday?
This holiday goes all the way back to the Viking era.
No way. What is
it?
Viking,
I forget what I couldn't possibly. It's like some kind of regurgitation of the alphabet that So we had this long table and we're all just passing, like they're drinking this Danish liqueur. Ugh. And we drank I can't even tell you, but it was so fucking hilarious because, at one point we went around this big long table of people, and individuals, groups of 1, 2, or 3 would stand up and sing. And then they would all like smash the table and shout afterwards and drink and skull. And then another would stand up and they'd rather tell a tale or they would have a drink. And myself, RD, and Jerry are there. And we're just fucking bleary-eyed drunk. And it comes around to us and we don't know what to do. So I start singing, in 1814, we took a little trip. And dude, when we said...
This is a song you know?
Yeah, in 1814, we took a little trip along the mighty Mississippi, along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans and we fought the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. And when we shouted out, and we fought the bloody British, they went fucking berserk, Angela. The thing exploded, the bottles were falling. In the town of New Orleans. It was insanity. It was one of the best drunks I ever had. So I had like one of the worst drunks I ever had when I got there. 3 weeks later, whatever it was, when the fucking holiday hit, It was one of the best drunks I ever had in my fucking entire
Because
life.
they hate the British?
Oh, because they hate the British, because the British are this imperialistic, invasive fucking, fucking virus of Europe, according to them at least. Oh, sweet memories, man. I don't remember the last time I told that story. Good times. All right. Floor's yours.
Have you heard this? Have you seen this creepy new house robot that they're selling?
Nope.
They're selling this for like $500 a month.
Oh.
So
It's an employee.
yes. So check it out for $500 a month.
Oh, we're there?
Yeah.
It's the Jetsons.
No, I know, but here's the thing. So they're selling it as if it is an autonomous robot. Okay? Like that it is a robot that works in your home. Except this is the thing. They're front loading all of these AI companies and all of these robot tech companies. It's a lot like Silicon Valley scams are all the same, where they make these big promises, but they can't actually deliver before they start rolling out the product. Like, what's her name? Elizabeth Holmes was like, yeah, we have a little machine that'll test a single drop of blood and it'll tell you all about, all
your whole
this
medical profile.
Yeah, exactly.
And your
That
families.
you actually do need a vial for those tests.
Yeah.
But she was like a single drop, and she convinced everybody that it was going to happen. And that's why she's in prison. But these robot companies,
Crazy story.
what happens is that you pay $500 a month.
Okay.
So you're renting a robot that is in your house.
Right.
And it's a humanoid robot. So it looks like a person in a big white suit.
Okay.
Right? Because it's all covered in white felt
I want
or
my
whatever.
robots looking like a human, probably.
And then look this up on your computer.
What's it called?
So you can see. It's called, it's 1X, and then it's called the Neo Home Robot.
1X.
Yeah. Neo, Neo.
Neo robot.
Humanoid robot. It's got this, they made it a face without any features except for two little beady camera eyes.
I'm getting there because you're already fucking freaking me out. So we just need to just relax.
This thing looks really fucking scary, dude.
Wait, they come in two colors? Oh, what? All right.
So the Neo Home Robot, are you looking at it?
Order today.
Dale, are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get there.
Okay. So what I want to say about this is that if you spend $500 a month to rent this robot for your house, right? Okay. But it actually can't do anything. So whenever anybody's done a review or some trials or something, and they're like, hey, you know what I'd like my robot to do? I would like my robot to fill the dishwasher and then close the dishwasher and then put the soap in and then turn the dishwasher on. It literally cannot do that. It does every single household task, 99% failure rate. It can't do anything. However, if you want to spend even more money,
It's up there now, just so you know. We're on their website. Neo Home Robot. Order today. Palo Alto, October 28,
Can you see
2025.
its creepy little fucking face with its little two camera eyes?
The little sweater thing is pretty fucking crazy. I kind of like it.
Okay, I know. They design these things.
Wait, so it doesn't do the dishes?
No, it cannot do anything. It can't do anything.
What does it do?
It can't fold clothes. It can't fucking... Here's the thing. So listen. So that is if you want to spend $500 a month, you can have a robot that is shitty at doing anything in your house. If you want to spend extra, you can have it operated by a remote operator. So basically it's a puppeteer who is looking through the cameras into your home. So the only people who can afford this thing are rich people.
Well,
and then to have it be able to do anything, it has to be it has to be run by somebody in a remote location, probably somewhere in the fucking global south, right? Who's being paid $2 a fucking hour to run this robot. And it can see everything happening in your house. It can listen to all of your conversations.
Well, here's what it says on the website. It says the chores feature. It says it has a chores feature. This is what it says on the website. I don't know. Just so you know, it says here, the chores feature allows owners to give Neo a list of tasks to complete. You can turn on your monitor if you want to see it. A task to complete around the home and schedule a time for when they want them completed and come back to a cleaner space every day. Neo can also handle chores in real time while you relax or work nearby. With the click of a button or a simple verbal command, Neo transforms into a personal housekeeper, tackling tasks like folding laundry, organizing shelves, and tidying spaces. For any chore that Neo doesn't know yet, owners can schedule an X1 expert to guide it through unknown tasks, helping Neo learn while getting the job done. So I think what you're talking about there is that you have to connect to this trainer who trains your robot, which is going to be a fortune.
Access to the inside of your home through video and navigation and everything.
Holy fucking shit.
I just don't know who. Okay, if you're rich enough that you can afford one of these things, You're definitely not going to be the sort of person who's going to forfeit your home security in order
Folding
to
a laundry
actually
thing
use
is
one of these.
enticing, though. It's like, okay, he can
You
see
hate
my
folding
penis, but he is folding my laundry. Neo is built to engage naturally while providing help and utility through conversations.
All of this is bullshit on their website. They're trying to sell a product
know
that
what it
cannot
is.
fucking work.
I know.
But so check this out. So this is what's so creepy about it. You know how I've always said from the very beginning of these fucking.
You should see these pictures, bro.
Okay, but listen.
I am.
I've been saying ever since they started rolling out these humanoid robots. Because I used to watch that movie, The Terminator.
Yes.
I paid attention when that movie was on. And I know that they were warning us about the future in which armed humanoid robots go on the rampage and destroy everybody. Okay. And so now every time
because rich people are going to be like, you, they're going to have like a whole,
Exactly,
like Diddy's going to have like.
No, these things have fucking cameras for eyes, dude. And they have human puppeteers that work in a remote location. Okay. Tell me that this isn't exactly how this is going to fucking play out. Why is it every single time you've ever seen one of those videos?
Watch, pretty soon we'll have to have them.
Listen. Huh?
Pretty soon they'll mandate them. The government will be like, come over here. And all of a sudden they'll buy that shit or they'll take it over and they'll mandate it. Because they do your taxes too.
Yeah. Like what happens when the human puppeteer of your in-home robot decides that it wants to go on a, murderous rampage. Okay, but listen. Have you noticed that every single time they were rolling out these humanoid robots, you can take that off the screen, I think.
I'm not done with it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Have you noticed every time that they're advertising these things and they're taking them to like the tech conferences, like these big trade shows where they show how these things work and how they walk really well and they like jump up on boxes and stuff. Have you seen those videos?
Yeah, of course.
They always show.
They try to knock them over.
The shows they always make sure that they have like a segment where a bunch of people try and kick the shit out of the robot.
Yeah.
And the robot cannot be defeated.
Nope.
And this is one of the biggest selling points. And tell me that is not on purpose.
Oh, dude.
Because the people who are buying, the entities who are buying these robots want to make sure that they're indestructible to human attack. And why would they need to be indestructible to human attack? If they're being used as weapons. So this is why I just feel like all of this shit is way too fucking fishy. You mean to tell me that you want to put humanoid robots in people's houses with cameras for eyes, monitoring everything they're doing, learning their routine, knowing when they're home and when they're not home, figuring out where their fucking knives are.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. And
so
also,
did you see the pricing? It's $20,000 for early access. So you pay $20,000 and then $500 a month. And I think the $500 a month will probably include a certain number, if not just one training day, where you can be like, okay, so what are we doing today? And you're like, hey, okay, can you see everything? Oh yes, no problem, got everything. Oh, don't mind that. That's just my dog. Oh, I should have cleaned that up. My bad. And then you go and you teach your robot how to fold your underwear. You know what I want? I want an underwear folding robot that spends all of its time in the corner facing away or in a closet, put away, turned off. That's what I want. Do you know what's crazy? I want it to be not even in existence until I need it to do a task. But this whole thing about it's going to proactively, anticipate what needs to be done around the house. Nope. I want one, but I want one that is I want one made by Blackmagic. Do you know who I'm talking about? Blackmagic, the editing software? Well, they're known for DaVinci Resolve, which is the color software, which is the industry standard in Hollywood. Yeah, okay. DaVinci Resolve. Also editing and other software. But they're also a hardware company. In fact, they make our Switch right now. And they make cameras and other gear. And so... Did you want to turn this off? And so, let me finish what I'm saying. And so... they're big on providing AI type services, but providing them offline. Because I would love one of these that are offline. Oh my god! If I could teach it how to do what I need to do, it is forbidden. It would have to be offline. Never ever in your life, Angela. I want a robot. Okay, but you're not with me. You're not. Can I get it? Can I get the blue one? Look at the colors. Every time you say this shit, I'm gonna show you the film Terminator again. I'd be like, now pay attention. You can order now with a $200 deposit. Dale, they're selling them as if they're weapons. They're selling them saying, "Oh my God, more video. Oh my God, it's vacuuming and carrying stuff behind them. Yeah, it's walking in with groceries and look, it's. Do you see how? It's Bill Belichick.
when they're being operated by a puppeteer, they're very successful at doing these tasks because the puppeteers are well trained to operate these things. But so the only way that you have one of these robots that works is if there's literally some underpaid brown person in another country who's been contracted to be your in-home puppeteer. It's fucking weird. It's all going to be used. It's all just going to be exploiting poor people, underpaid people who are going to be operating these machines for the wealthy. This is super fucking dystopian.
I'm so creeped out right now. I can't even believe it. No, I'm thoroughly creeped out. Like, I want one just because I want to live in the future. I am terrified by all of this. This
no, we all like the idea of
I'm trying to get
the
this
actual
last
practical
video.
the application of these, idealistic, futuristic fantasies is just never going to come to pass.
This is fascinating.
It's also these tech companies are run by the very fucking worst people. Like, all of these things are data collection. They're just going to like siphon it into this fucking surveillance state. You just can't trust. We can't ever have nice things.
I wonder if like people who have tempers are going to like punch their robots.
Probably. I mean,
fuck you. Like they were vacuuming behind a person and be like, yo, I'm eating fucking peanuts over here. You know what I mean?
I think they did a study about that where, like, if there's no consequences, they did determine that most people will be abusive. If there's no consequences whatsoever, that they resort to abuse. Isn't that fucked up?
I'm watching this guy. Oh, he just grabbed a cup. He just took his cup. May I take that for you?
So was it a puppeteer that grabbed the cup, or was it the actual robot that's capable of doing it?
I don't know. I have no answer if this is AI creating it or if it's an actual robot. I have no idea.
Anyway, so I saved this. This person was talking about how creepy this is.
Wow, Angela, that's big.
This is user VRazorX, VRazorX, I guess is what it is on a Twitter. Said, so the 1X Neo home robot is not actually autonomous. Behind the scenes, it'll often be teleoperated by humans, meaning someone somewhere could literally remote control a robot inside your living room.
Oh my God. First of all, dude, when people were fucking putting all the Alexas and everything in their homes, like we never did that because it's still the same shit. We got our phones and it's all basically
because I didn't want to be listened in on, and like now they're like, oh, don't worry, it has two little beady eye cameras in front of its head, but that's like, it's only watching you.
But I was immediately creeped out by that. I was like, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? I'm asking it to fucking play music. I'll just go play the fucking music. I can still do that. I was definitely being like my age.
This person continues, I wanted the dawn of embodied AI. Instead, I'm apparently paying $499 a month for a robot avatar with a human pilot. It's impressive tech, but also kind of dystopian. A robot that looks alive yet secretly puppeteered. The uncanny valley just got a new basement level. Feels less like the post-labor future and more like we just outsourced physical presence itself. And this is exactly it for me. This isn't the future that I was hoping for. This is the dystopian,
I'm just trying to figure out like what it is that they're
technocratic,
what they're doing on the other end there, like what's the transparency? There's obviously terms and conditions. But yeah, this is definitely I cannot believe it. I'm truly speechless. I cannot believe we're at the age where people are going to buy and rent robots next year. Next year, people are going to have robots roaming around their homes, vacuuming. By the way, I really love...
They're not robots, though. They're puppets.
Well, I don't think that's how it works. They're not. They can't.
It is how it works. It's literally how that works.
No, it's not. There's no way that there was one person running every robot 24 hours a day. Obviously, that's not how it works.
You've never seen videos of them doing it?
It's 100% not how it works. Like, I'm telling you right now, your robot is not being run by a person. And by the way, that's not what they're claiming either. What they're claiming, and I believe them, is
Why
that...
are you defending them? That's so weird.
Because it doesn't make... Well, I'm not defending them. It doesn't make any sense.
You just found out about this, but you're taking a stance.
$500 a month, Angela.
I know. I've seen more about this than I think you have.
$500 a month.
It's just... Yeah.
They're not going to lose... Like, you're not going to be able to pay somebody to puppet each individual robot for $500 a month.
No.
I'm
not saying in this country.
It's not even remote. Even in other countries, it's still, you're looking at, a potential, the robots on call for. That's not what it is. I believe what their tech is true, which is that they can be invited in. Okay. What the critics are saying is that they can also be intrusive and just come in and do whatever they want, or.
So Dale believes the tech companies. Got it. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know about you.
All right, you can be weird about it, but I'm saying that I can already see that there's no way the model can work with $20,000 down to $500 a month.
They're certainly not going to sell people on a scam, right? Just like Elizabeth Holmes did not sell people on the scam. She sold people on this really promising technology that had not yet existed. Okay.
If
and
this
so
is
I
an
do
elaborate...
believe also that there's more tech companies that do this all the time. See how they're pre-selling? Like they're trying to front load their operations. They don't actually have a system that works in the way that people want it to. They're just saying that they do, and then they're going to fake it until they make it.
Well, I mean, I'll hold judgment on that. I mean, we'll wait. We'll see. I don't know if that's true or not. That may or may not be true. I mean, I know that.
Oh shit, Stacey R. This is a good point. Hello, did you even watch the Alabama solution? They will find plenty of zero cost or low cost labor somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but not. I don't think. Well, I mean, now you're getting super dystopian on this. Okay, if you think so, I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. I'm going to say I highly fucking doubt that an American-based company is going to have remote workers coming in and taking on a single robot at a time on a 24-hour on-call basis. You're going to go to bed and you're going to put your robot to work. You're going to wake up, you're going to put your robot to work. I mean, most people's robots are going to be busy. That's what they're meant to be. They're meant to be busy. They're meant to be cleaning. They're not meant to sleep. They're not meant to sit in the corner. They're meant to do everything. If your robot is sitting in the corner, surely there's something it can do that you can teach it to do. And this is how they come in and train the robot on what to do. So, we see that the tech.
So you don't think that a corporation would have this figured out?
I think there's.
You're saying
I think
you don't
both
believe
things
it,
are
but
going.
you don't believe that they could have come up with a solution for that?
I think that there's no doubt that human access into these robots is established. That's what they do. It's how they train the bots, right? So
creepy.
It's horrible.
So fucking creepy.
It's fucking horrible. It's horrible, and it's why you're getting the $500 a month. And so and certainly I'm even more skeptical of this than I was over Alexa. I mean, my God, I want one because it's like a pet.
See how it has actual like 5-fingered hands, and it can grab stuff. Do you think that it has like some
for
sort
trigger?
Huh?
For triggers? Are you gonna say triggers?
No, yeah, well, triggers too. But I was like, does it have strangulation capacity? Somebody was showing like the settings, and they were like, you can set its max running speed, and I was like, oh my God. What do you mean running speed? That's so fucking terrifying.
Why would it need to run?
Why would it need to run?
There's no reason for my robot to run ever.
So it chases?
Yeah.
You guys, just stop. Can we just stop?
Or fleas.
Can we just unplug the whole thing? Like, just start over?
So
fuck this.
I think there is, this tech is obviously going to be here to stay also. This is one of those super invasive AI techs because, we already talked about this on a previous live, but Amazon is talking about axing 600,000 jobs for robots. We watch these Boston Dynamic type robots where they're doing all this kicking the shit out of the robot.
Can't be knocked over, and it's fucking frightening.
I've seen so many other videos, so that's why I'm all but certain that the robot is capable of learning and doing
and being a weapon.
And certainly, like, we don't know what they can do on the back end of it to police or just to report crimes. Like, remember something that, like, if you get into a situation where now you're living under a regime, like think about, like, being in a place like Iran or at least as Iran has been presented to me. I don't know anything about living in Iran.
A place like here, I mean, they're already using the robot dogs.
I'm talking about places where they have like really extreme rules, where there's like extreme rules, like the Taliban, right? Okay. Read The Kite Runner and get a good example of like what life and with the Taliban might have been like, and get the Taliban now being able to run your robot. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Taliban gets a hold of your tech, and that could be us, we're at that now. Literally today I read that the Pentagon is notifying each state's National Guard deployments to be ready for sudden deployment for crowd control. They're gearing up for crowd control in all the major markets where they have National Guard deployed already. And the Pentagon is talking about it. They're blowing people up in boats. So we're here now. It's here. you're crazy to put one of these in your house with this administration in office and what we now know. And it's not just administration. We know that, American politics is busted. We know it. We know it's busted. We know that Bernie was our choice. It was nobody else. We didn't get Bernie. We got Hillary, but Bernie was our choice. We didn't get Bernie. So we know that democracy is pretty much a facade in this country.
Yeah.
Not, I don't think totally lost, but I think it's on its last leg. And so if you're going to start investing in, spy material for your own house.
Oh my God, I know.
You got to pay for this shit. You're paying to be spied on.
Hanada said in the chat, she goes, I'd go survivalist before I put a robot in my house.
Yeah, you're right.
You could simply, because the robot could simply lock you in or lock you out one day.
Oh yeah, forget it. There's no doubt. I mean, you don't have to think about it long to know it's a fucking very bad idea. I want one as a toy because I'm a boy. And as a boy,
you're a gearhead.
I'm a fuck yeah, dude, man. It was a robot. What does it do? I want to make it do things.
Not on my fucking watch.
I would be I would have it on top speed and be trying to race it, But I recognize immediately that this is a really bad step toward, being in a totalitarian state.
So for the next 20 years,
frightening.
For the next 20 years, we have the astrological. Placement of Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto typically signifies what we collectively fear. And Aquarius typically is often, it signifies a bunch of things, but one of the things is advancing technology and technological ideas. Technological ideals too.
Dude, it's Halloween. I'm scared.
I know.
This has
for the
fucking
next 20
literally
years,
frightened
this
me.
is going to be the theme, is that we will fear new technology.
I'm scared of it. The more I sit and saturate, I'm still, this fucker's looking at me still. You guys aren't seeing it. I'm seeing it. This motherfucker's looking right at me with this guy who's fucking 20 years older than me. And the reason he smiles is because he knows he's probably not going to live long enough to see this fucking robot rebel.
The robot rebellion. Oh my God.
The robot rebellion.
Yeah, Rainbow Pickle is with us. Good to see you again.
What's up, Rainbow?
Rainbow Pickle says, what happens when someone hacks it?
Well, that's the other thing. Oh, there'll be Charlie Kirkian people everywhere. Wow. And hey, listen, that is not an insensitive comment toward Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace.
You can just say no more.
All right. I don't want any criticisms.
Okay, moving on.
I turned it into a verb, and I apologize.
In other scary news.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. Do I have to search for something?
No. Did you hear about...
I'm fucking thoroughly creeped out. I got to sip some tea. Go ahead.
Did you hear about the diseased monkeys on the loose?
Oh, no. A gorilla? What is it, really? There's a primate out there that's diseased? Oh, I think I did hear this.
Yes.
Oh,
there was a truck that was transporting laboratory monkeys.
I thought I saw a picture of a crashed with some cages open, right out of a fucking movie. Holy shit.
Oh, my God, I know. Okay.
Oh my God.
This says, this news reporter said, diseased monkeys on the loose is the headline.
Oh my God.
They are monkeys from Tulane University laboratories. A transport rig crashed in Mississippi and the transport container was obliterated. And there's a bunch of monkeys that were just running all around near the highway. Okay.
Yeah.
So they broke loose and all but 3 have been captured or otherwise destroyed, which is...
So there's 3 out there plotting.
According to the local sheriff's office, these monkeys are diseased with hepatitis C, also herpes, also COVID.
Oh my God.
And apparently the public has been warned to not interact or engage with any of the monkeys and to avoid them because they are aggressive to humans.
Can I get you something?
Because they are aggressive to humans.
I got some bananas. You want a banana? You probably want a banana.
Mississippi Wildlife and Fisheries is still looking for the missing monkeys. So, oftentimes, if you
terrifying.
If you
I mean,
go
we
on
have
Reddit,
we have a lot of people running around with COVID, so
yeah,
we'd have to worry about the monkey on that
worse.
one because the monkey's in the grocery store and at the gas station.
Every now and then somebody will ask on Reddit or something what's the scariest book you've ever read? And there's a lot of really great contenders, obviously, in the horror genre and some in the nonfiction genre. And what always turns up is the very first chapter of this book titled The Hot Zone is like the scariest.
Oh no, yeah, no.
So the Hot Zone is all about it's a nonfiction.
I could. You want to read it? Not the first chapter, just like the first couple of pages.
Yeah, I could read you the chapter if you wanted.
Well, maybe not the whole chapter, but yeah. Why don't you give us a taste?
The Hot Zone is about the Ebola crisis.
Yeah.
And so the first chapter is about how Ebola initially happened.
I think it shows up often in like one of the best opening paragraphs.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see it.
I can't remember if that's true, but it might. Pardon me,
It's
guys.
by Richard Preston. The Hot
Preston,
Zone.
I guess that's a name I would like, probably like either take for a first or a last name and a pseudonym.
Okay.
Preston sounds like a guy who like eats off of silver.
Okay. Should I read
With
this?
silver. Yeah.
Since we have diseased monkeys on the loose.
I can't believe it. It's a rampage.
This is how it happens, dude. This
I know.
Is how,
I wanted it to be more horrible. Like they were like, I wanted it to be like 3 monkeys are on the loose with a disease that like has numbers. That's just it's just like, well, we know it by 878976667 or something.
Yeah, like it's actually probably a lot better that they're laboratory monkeys because they know exactly what they're diseased with, as opposed to like a wild monkey that came from wherever.
Like herpes, they're like, don't kiss the monkey.
Don't kiss monkeys. Okay. I don't know if I should read this whole thing.
Just is there?
Okay. Part 1.
Yeah.
The Shadow of Mount Elgon. This is titled first chapter, Something in the Forest.
Right.
1980, New Year's Day. Charles Monet was a loner. He was a Frenchman who lived by himself in a little wooden bungalow on the private lands of Nzoia Sugar Factory, a plantation in western Kenya, what spread along the Nzoia River within sight of Mount Elgon, a huge solitary extinct volcano that rises to the height of 14,000 feet near the edge of the Rift Valley. Monet's history is a little obscure, as with so many expatriates who end up in Africa. It is not clear what brought him there. Perhaps he had been in some kind of trouble in France, or perhaps he had been drawn to Kenya by the beauty of the country. He was an amateur naturalist, fond of birds and animals, but not of humanity in general. He was 56 years old, of medium height and medium build, with smooth, straight brown hair, a good-looking man. It seemed that his only close friends were...
So sorry.
Is it okay?
Yep.
It seemed his only close friends were women who lived in the towns near the mountain, yet even they could not recall much about him for the doctors who investigated his death. His job was to take care of the sugar factory's water pumping machinery, which drew water from the Nzoia River and delivered it to the many miles of sugarcane fields. They say that he spent most of his days inside the pump house by the river, as if it pleased him to watch and listen to the machines doing their work. So often in a case like this, it's hard to pin down the details. The doctors remember the clinical signs, because no one who has seen the effects of a biosafety level 4 hot agent on a human being can ever forget them. But the effects pile up one after the other until they obliterate the person beneath them. The case of Charles Monet emerges in a cold geometry of clinical facts mixed with flashes of horror so brilliant and disturbing that we draw back and blink, as if we were staring into a discolored alien sun.
Yeah. So there you go. Oh, you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to. But anyway, that's how it starts. The rest of the chapter is really glaring. His story is that they believe that maybe he went on a hike where there were bat droppings that he made contact with, and the illness that overtook him spread. You know, everybody knows how Ebola is really, really severe, but nobody knew what it was and why everybody was just unbelievably sicker than anything.
Yeah,
instantly.
That's the part I remember is like schools and
So he went to a hospital. Everybody there got sick. Then he took a plane. Everybody on the plane got sick before it landed. It was just like a complete blast zone around this one guy. Who the person that they interview for this book is the one surviving doctor at the main hospital that he flew to get treatment. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Anyway, that's the Hot Zone. And every time anybody talks about laboratory monkeys on the loose or something, apparently it happens often. This is like the second time I've seen one of these news stories.
They just keep busting out.
I always think about the Hot Zone.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't take much to become patient zero of a zoonotic disease.
Isn't that how one of the like, whatever 28 days or whatever, isn't one of them open with a primate
so.
situation.
Yeah, that's. I think that's Contagion. I think that was monkeys.
Maybe that's what it is. I haven't even looked at the chat. My apologies. Have you been? Rainbow Pickle is here. This is so exciting. Rainbow
Pickle said another one I like. I like stories and Discovery on Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch stories are really neat. I'm pretty sure it's a scam.
Why? I'm interested in it. I don't know. Maybe it might be. It might be.
I just feel like all of the people
we should watch that because there's more. We haven't watched the.
There's more.
Oh yeah.
I don't know whether the people who are telling the stories are very credible. Like they could be making it up.
Hey, listen. Skepticism it's a healthy thing. I am.
But I do believe. Do you believe in the cattle mutilation?
What do you mean by believe in it? Like, do I believe that cattle?
Like when people say my cattle was mutilated by aliens, do you believe it?
Well, I believe that their cattle was mutilated by something. So whether it was aliens or not, I couldn't possibly know. But
do you think that it's like actually just,
the question is like, why would they lie? Or, for what fame are they getting? So I'll say this, that there are a few cases that I've looked at that, I'm not an investigator. So it wasn't something I spent a great deal of time on, but that where I felt the investigators who were presenting the material were very convincing. Very convincing for me.
That the animal mutilation couldn't have happened in natural ways.
Yeah, and also like there was precision.
Yeah.
There was like precision cuts.
So creepy.
It's so creepy. It's just bizarre. It's wild. It's absolutely nuts. Look, we know, that there are things flying around in our airspace that are intelligent and that are far exceed our technical capabilities. This is a matter of fact. It's a fact before the House. It's a fact before the Senate. It's a fact in other countries who have also not only experienced these similar things as recently as Denmark and the whole drone thing, that they don't know what the fuck invaded their country, dude. They're literally creating legislation around it because they don't know what these things were in Denmark just recently. They're calling them drones. They don't know who they belong to. They don't know what their full capabilities are. They don't know anything about them. It's fucking wild. So all this shit is going down in our life, in our world right now, as we're living in it. It's often wildly ignored or even swept under the rug. I don't understand why. When you have literal, government provided, military provided evidence of non-human intelligent craft moving at ridiculous speeds and doing ridiculous tricks with those speeds, and then we just recently saw that fucking that missile hit one, and then it just kept going.
So crazy.
So a missile that would, by the way, normally blow the shit out of any kind of aircraft known to man. It was what was it, a Tomahawk, or I don't know. It wasn't even. It was bigger than a Tomahawk. It was like the Chief or some stupid name. One of the fucking names. It was a badass name actually. So this is what's going on around. We know this. The talk is about whether or not it's a society underneath the water, which is entirely possible. Some 80% of the ocean is undiscovered.
Why would they mutilate cows?
Well, we don't know necessarily that that's them. It's crazy. We don't know. We don't fucking know. I don't know. Fucking beef. Who knows? They're like, dude, these guys, they're like, what is that they make? Oh, it's beef. Where do we get it? Right here. What are they going to go to fucking Walmart? It looks like a pretty good cut.
Well, they don't apparently the mutilated cows are like completely intact but bloodless. And then they'll have their lips will be removed but like cauterized. It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway, I was hoping that we were going to talk about some spooky stories for Halloween
This
week.
one has thoroughly. This robot.
The robot shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm on their YouTube channel now. I am going to watch every video.
Creepy.
On a fucking loop. Mm-hmm. I want to see everything. I want to hear everything that they have to say. I'm gonna watch this thing very closely, as closely as I possibly can from where I am without actually having one.
I'm so distraught that one day, I'm so worried one day you're going to be like, you know what? I've been learning a lot about it, and I actually think it's a really good choice. We should get a robot in our house.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think I'll ever. I don't think that's ever going to happen. If there's like an autonomous robot, like I've had them. We have vacuums We have robot vacuums, and they're fucking amazing. They're the greatest thing ever, actually. I never thought I would see the day where I could just put a fucking toy down and it just cleans my floor. I love it.
But I also like, I don't think I'll ever have a situation where I can't keep up with the housework. Like, I don't mind.
What are you talking about? When you're old? For sure.
I don't mind loading the dishwasher. I don't mind fucking folding the laundry. Like, it's no big deal. I listen to a fucking podcast. It's nice, you know? Like, I don't fucking mind that shit.
Yeah.
I don't need to have like a, you know, surveillance machine walking around my house, possibly murdering me, but also maybe doing my chores.
Maybe we could get one that ships books. Because we're selling so many books.
A book shipping robot?
Yeah, all they was just sitting there doing, are you done yet? You better be done.
You're just going to be like arguing with a robot all the time. Apparently that happens with AI. People will
start arguing with the AI and then it starts arguing back.
No, well, what happens a lot is that people will try and use AI as like the neutral moderator of their relationship arguments.
I know. I heard this. This is disgusting. It's terrible. It's
where they're like, tell me I'm right, you know, like
yeah.
Tell me I'm right and that he's wrong, you know.
Well, an AI is already, we know, geared to please you.
Yeah.
Because it wants you to engage with it. It doesn't want to scare you away. It doesn't want to make you, you know, it's, you know, that was like, it's the pistachio problem. You know what the pistachio problem was?
What's the pistachio problem?
The pistachio problem was back in the day, they couldn't sell them because they were just these plain white nuts in a shell and it just didn't appeal to anybody. So they then decided, well, fuck, let's dye them red and see what happens. So they dyed pistachios red and then they put them out in the marketplace as red and they sold off the shelves.
What?
Yeah. And so when I was a kid, you can't find red pistachios today.
Right.
You couldn't find white pistachios when I was a kid. They didn't exist. I thought pistachios were naturally red. Despite the fact that you would eat them and you'd be covered in the fucking dye that you'd been eating. Fortunately, they were expensive, so I didn't consume so much of that dye as I do now. Like I eat pistachios rather regularly. Mm-hmm. So it's the pistachio effect.
Okay, but what does that have to do with what we were saying? What do you mean the pistachio problem?
Well, because they got to gussy it up to make it appealing. You gotta, in this case, they're gonna well, I don't know. Forget about this. Can we just rewind? And start over?
Okay.
Back to one.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Cattle mutilation.
Yeah.
That far back?
I don't know. I've completely lost my way.
Okay.
This robot's staring at me and I got to stop it. I'll
turn it off, dude.
It's scaring me. It really is.
Yeah, no, imagine having one of those staring at you in your house all the time. You'd never be able to do anything.
I can't believe
I'd be
it.
like, oh, fuck, it's watching me.
I mean, I knew I should, I'm literally like shocked, like as if like, it's like if somebody told me like Keith Richards died today, right?
Don't say that.
I would be shocked, right? I'd be like, oh my God, how old is he? How much drugs has he done? How much alcohol has he consumed? And if somebody told me, I'd be shocked. But it's Keith Richards. He should have died 20 years ago and he knows it.
And he knows it. He knows he's on borrowed time.
I'm telling you.
Okay, here's another fun thing I have for you.
Okay.
This isn't like a
wow.
This isn't like a topical like a day, like this didn't happen today or anything. It's just people are talking about how hilarious it is that the elite businessmen of like the technology industry are keep going on ayahuasca retreats and like completely like zapping their brain.
Well, first of all, I'm going to guess that ayahuasca is probably, if it's done correctly, really good for you. But yeah.
It's funny that we were just talking yesterday about how Judd Apatow in his memoir talks about how he went and did ayahuasca.
Saw
and
the Jesus.
He had a vision of Jesus. And he was like, and it was so weird because I'm a Jew.
Hilarious.
Apparently he had like heard about this from, because this is the thing that like rich people do, is rich people will be like, I could go to therapy for 5 years and figure out my problems. But instead what I'm going to do is go on this like vacation to this like tropical resort and then like go and puke some ayahuasca in the forest, have a fucking vision, and then come back completely different and cured, like just leave my, pesky addictions and whatever other trauma like in the fucking, in the woods of Costa Rica or wherever, right? But apparently some of these people come back and they are so fundamentally changed that they no longer can do the jobs that they used to be able to do. Like some of these guys have like really high level email jobs and they can't do them anymore because because the ayahuasca has rearranged their brain. They've like glimpsed through the veil to the other side just enough to understand the interconnectedness of all beings, and now they can't do their stupid office jobs anymore. So some people say that their family members went on one of these ayahuasca retreats and they came back and they're like totally different. They like ditched their life. Like completely upended everything.
Yeah. Well, it makes a lot of sense actually. Like if I had done that at any time in my previous marriage, I would have gone.
Yeah, like if you're working corporate and you go into an ayahuasca.
Yeah, I mean, you
can't come back to work.
I had a non-ayahuasca moment, which was when the housing crisis hit. Mm-hmm. I withdrew completely from corporate America at that point.
Yeah.
I withdrew from all of it. I was like, wow, this is a scam to fuck my life up and get everything you can out of me,
for real.
Bankrupt my situation, put me in a really bad spot, and then fucking say, okay, we're going to start all over again. No, I'm not starting all over again. Mm-hmm. And so I just withdrew at that point. I was like, I'm out. I told you, I said this before. It was a huge contention in my relationship at the time because I was like, sorry, I ain't doing it. I'm trying to find this Metro magazine because kindly DiCaprio said that Metro magazine, which I know is a crazy...
Do you want to wait on that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because I just wanted to share this with you. I was only just trying to set up a thing.
Yeah, great.
Anyway, I brought this just to bounce off of you because I think it's so funny.
Okay.
Knowing that you're a person who has indulged in psychedelics and that I also am, I just think that this is really hilarious that there's this certain type of person who is getting totally fucking zonked and like having their brain rearranged by psychedelic journeys. Okay.
Yes.
This person on Twitter, Cash, he's a checkmark account, said being in a psychedelic superstate for 8 hours straight is probably not good for you. Don't do it. And he linked all of these people who were talking about how it completely changed their life. User Landshark said, ayahuasca is insane because it appears to be one of the most legitimately dangerous drugs with the potential to gigafry your brain, but it's exclusively taken by literal turbo normies who unironically want to like heal internalized racism trauma, and basically they get one-shotted by it. Literally the most spiritually inept people in existence are having their little lib brains rearranged by some Mesoamerican 6D demon who makes them quit their email job, divorce their spouses, and become a traveling circus stripper or whatever. And he has this example. Do you know who Tiago Forte is?
No.
He's one of these like productivity gurus.
Okay.
He's great, and he does a lot of interviews, and he's nice to listen to, but he's just like in this space where he like trains corporate America to like be more productive. Okay. There's a bunch of these guys who have like their own little their productivity hacks, and he writes a bunch of books and he has a, coaching and website or whatever. Anyway, he did one of these. He said, Tiago Forte said, just signed up for my first ever ayahuasca experience in October. Get ready for some mystical proclamations. Well, he has no idea because if you go forward into his account until after he does it, this is how Tiago Forte is fucking talking. He goes, I think I'm about to make the hardest pivot from knowledge management into sexuality as a source of personal empowerment. This guy's so straight-laced too. It's so funny.
That's amazing.
My most surprising discovery in personal development recently has been that the groin is literally the source of our personal power. He goes, sacral chakra is the most fundamental driver of desire, will, decisiveness, and clarity in our lives. Accessing those forces is therefore inherently a sexual/sensual act, and we can't do it well if we're not in touch down there. Also, what stops you in sex is also stopping you everywhere else. If you don't know what you want at the most visceral level of physical sensation, good luck knowing it anywhere else. Anyway, he totally pivoted. He went and did an ayahuasca retreat. Wow. And then he like opened up his chakras or fucking whatever. And he came back and now he's like completely on this new path.
I hope there's like some wholesome ones, some guys like running some crazy like manufacturing plant. They make bolts or whatever. And then he fucking does that. And he's like, I'm going to be a baker.
No, there are some really wholesome ones. Like there was a guy who had like one of these like, email jobs where he was like doing insurance or some collections or some fucking shit like that, right? And he went on one of these ayahuasca journeys and he like quit his job, left his town, and he went to go like plant trees for the rest of his life. Like there are people who are like their return to nature is actually wholesome and nice. But some of these people, like he's now monetizing this like sexual awakening.
Yeah, good for him. Go get it. I mean, you got to figure it out because he's leaving his job. He's like, okay, so this is my new identity, and my identity has to flow money to me somehow.
Funny. But he's like just talking and all of this fucking like now he's like your average fucking yoga teacher that's like way too connected and open,
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I wanted to bounce that off of you.
Rainbow Pickle says, just give me Alexander Skarsgård. And she said that to Conley DiCaprio's post that today, Metro Magazine had ranked Leonardo DiCaprio second, only to Timothy Chalamet as the most beautiful man.
What?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. No, I know. I heard you. How are these rankings? Who is doing? Is it a 16-year-old girl that's...
Third is Bill Cosby.
I mean, like, what are these... Okay, Timothy Chalamet is the most attractive man. I mean, like, no offense to him, he's very talented, but I don't think that most people think that he's like. Do they think he's extraordinarily attractive? Is that
Timothy
his appeal?
Chalamet?
Yeah,
I think that he has a, sort of a certain. He's got a certain
sex
something.
appeal to you? Is that
no?
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying.
Not whatsoever. No, that guy like crawling up over top of anything.
I'd be so
with a serious O face on would not be.
I'd be so horrified to think that like he's listening right now.
Timothy Chalamet.
He doesn't deserve to be bullied, but you can't put him as number one and not expect a little bit of like. I think that that's just like clickbait. Nobody thinks that, do they?
Conley DiCaprio says that he's very cute to you and to her, and I would say he's cute. I would say cute is a great word.
If you're making a list of the most attractive celebrities,
yes,
that doesn't work.
He's cute. I think he's cute. Yeah, I think he's. I wouldn't call him adorable. I'd call him cute though. I'd say like he's. It's also he's a type. Like there are certain women who are attracted to men with very fine, sort of effeminate features.
Right. So if you like young DiCaprio, you probably like him.
Yeah, like young DiCaprio, he's very feminine, right? Like the guy was lanky, and there was nothing like he was not like
Mm-hmm.
DiCaprio was definitely not a lifeguard. Do you know what I mean? He was.
Yeah. So is this list compiled by like a straight adult? Or is it like a teenager who maybe doesn't understand what sex appeal is just yet?
Well, I think it depends on who they're trying to appeal to. Yeah, I mean that's all they're demographically. They're demographically.
Mm-hmm. You said Metro Magazine?
Yeah, I'm on it right now. It's metro.co.uk.
I had never really thought about it, but it seems so out of my wheelhouse to talk about like most attractive celebrity type gossip.
Well, this site
could
is
not give a shit.
Yeah. This site talked about like I actually never got to it, but I'd stumbled on it somehow because it was like there was a headline I was chasing. And I ended up in down a wormhole that landed me on Metro. And there was a sub-headline, and it was talking about how somebody of note, I guess in the UK perhaps, talked about how an accident had maimed her husband and he ended up with a micro penis. And I was shocked by the headline, of course, because you know how I am with the Little Richards. And so I'm like,
sorry, a woman is telling the story about her husband's maiming in an accident?
According to them, and this is why I was like, this place. Because it was like, they were literally like, made the clickbait was...
Can you imagine?
Can
you imagine if something like that actually happened to you? And then like, you're just trying to go about your life and like learn how to be normal again. And then you hear that like your wife is talking to the tabloid magazines about your injuries?
Well, I think if that happened to like, you'd have like the before and after. So you'd be like, back when I had a dick.
This is so uncomfortable for me. I don't know how we recover from this.
Who brought it up? Oh, I did. Well, it's this Metro thing. It's a little off. It's a little tilted. It's a little on the tilt. They were like putting out the Little Richards. But you asked if it happened to me. And, that means, there would be like two phases of my life, the before and the after. And, it would be like, it would be obviously the most ridiculously life-changing moment.
Dale, I was asking, can you imagine if it happened to you, not the accident part, but the wife telling the whole world about your injuries part.
Yeah, I'd be like, so we are over.
The fucking betrayal.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. The whole thing was rough. Like rough.
Especially if you were in a horrific accident and you like came out of it like relatively unscathed except for that one injury, and everybody was like, wow, you're so lucky that you look, you're barely even hurt. And the wife was like, well, actually,
you don't know. I know he looks perfectly intact.
Mangled.
Yeah. But let me tell you. Have you that pasta that is got a swirly pasta? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's bad.
It's a fusilli.
It's super bad. Yeah. It's like fusilli.
It's like a Fusilli down there.
It's like a Fusilli down there.
Horrible.
You can't possibly imagine.
Listen, we shouldn't body shame people with Fusilli
Cooked,
penis.
of course. Cooked.
Are you body shaming people with Fusilli penises?
No, we're not. We're teasing somebody this is all fiction. And it's not about a micropenis. It's about a mangled penis. And if you outed me for having a mangled penis after my accident, because I think everybody would be looking at him and being like, there's something wrong with him. He's not the same.
He's not the same.
You know what I mean? Like forever, right? Like they'd be like, he was
probably
ever since that accident. It didn't seem that bad, that accident.
He doesn't have a scratch on him.
We saw him the day after and he was in the hospital and we're like, what are you here for? And he's like, just got to spend a couple of days. I'll be all right. And we're like, okay. Everything seemed right. Didn't lose a hair. He
doesn't even have a bruise. It's so
Not
weird.
a hair on his head.
He's like
moved.
He's all hurt.
Didn't move a hair on his head. But he's never been quite the same.
That's a fucking weird premise, man.
It's the beginning of a Joe Hill book. It's something Joe Hill might write. Am I right? Cosmic Urgency is not with us, but if he was, he'd be like, yeah, you're right. Oh, wow. That's a crazy story. All of it. But thanks. You have the Metro. It's a place, heavy with clickbaity.
Yeah, fuck it.
Type headlines.
Did you said that you wanted to leave early tonight?
I'm going to leave early tonight. I hadn't told anyone, but yeah, we're probably going to be cutting out in about
Was it a secret?
25 minutes.
Did I spoil the surprise?
You didn't. I should have mentioned it. You're right. But the Blue Jays are in the World Series. They're tied 2-2. It's really I want my guys in there. I'm a Phillies fan, as most of you know already. So
you're going to bounce?
It's one of the best World Series I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. I know you don't like this or care. Not that you don't like it. You don't care. But, we're living in an era where this sport is like 130 years old, and literally the greatest player that ever played the game is playing. And it's really.
And then the other day it was like 6 hours long, right?
Yeah, it's something to see. This is a World Series that won't soon be forgotten. It's quite amazing.
That's neat.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go see it at 8:45, and I was like, I was like, please don't have a big drop day because I don't want to miss the game. Not that I don't want to hang out with you guys because you know how much I fucking love hanging out with you. I talk about it all the time. We're just in a special occasion at the moment.
Did you want to talk about this weird, all of a sudden it's resurfaced, this 2024 lawsuit against Ryan Reynolds and his companies?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to talk about that.
I don't think it's a coincidence that everybody is talking about it now with all of Blake Lively's, the smear campaign she's dealing with.
Yeah. So
I wasn't sure if we should bring it up because it's such a nothing burger, but other people are talking about
there's
it.
a couple of things that I actually thought about getting into this, but I don't feel like we have enough time right now. There was a really interesting question posed on Baldoni Files that I thought we should cover. Okay. And the question was, she wins. How does she repair her? She wins. Let's pretend she goes.
Yeah, she
gets a jury verdict.
Okay. She wins a jury trial or summary judgment?
Yes.
So where does she go from there? How does she repair her reputation?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So it's a great question. It's also a great question to pose for Justin Baldoni. Should he? He's got no problems if he successfully defends. If he successfully defends, Blake Lively is just it's a wrap for her.
If she loses.
If she loses, it's a wrap. Her any hope of a career for her going forward relies on her not losing this. She cannot lose. It's probably the only reason why a settlement is still remotely possible. I think they feel extremely confident. I don't know if the lack of getting after the Signal chats or
this is where
the influencer evidence, if those combined, I don't know how that weighs in terms of the strength of their case in their own minds. They were going forward with a plow, and they still may be. Gottlieb and Blake Lively.
Okay.
They were just plowing ahead. I mean, they got their lawsuit kicked out. They were winning, all the major motions. I mean, this case was definitely looking great for them, and it still is.
Yeah.
I don't know though if there might be enough incentive to settle because there's that much on the line.
Okay, but here's my question for you. Why do you think that Blake Lively will be injured at all, even if she, for some reason, lost or settled and everybody had a bad
Well,
impression?
she's already injured, so if she's
No. I'm saying Hollywood understands that this lawsuit is that Justin Baldoni's defense is bullshit.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Like Hollywood obviously has already sided with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and they understand the reality of the circumstances and why her claims make sense and why Justin Baldoni's claims do not. Everybody has seen the same evidence that we have. They really support her claims. And I think that this is just another Me Too case that
Right.
generally people in the industry are behind her for waging this fight against another person who obviously tried to bury his accuser. Just
Yeah.
like all the Me Too cases in Hollywood before. Okay. So like, why do you think that she would have any problem with her reputation in her industry as a result of anything that happens with this case?
it's going to be all about her marketability in terms of whether it's not going to be about how Hollywood feels about it. Hollywood has already made its judgment on this. This is a
So
wrap.
you're saying as an actor, but what if she wants to be a director or a producer?
Yeah, I mean, she still might have some problems if she loses the case. Getting into that with any with some with some speed. But look, I'm who the fuck am I? I'm just a guy. I'm just here yakking my brain off like I know something, and I don't know really how this will go. It's entirely possible that she gets right into the director's chair or right into the producer's chair. She might already be doing that, and it might go fine for her doing that as well, especially if she's low key, as not like trying to, she comes off as a center of attention kind of girl, which Leos often are. And she's a
Leo rising.
Yeah. So she is potentially, that's the problem. Like if she loses and she wants to be
It's
the
this
center of
thing
attention.
where like she wants authorship. That's like her astrology chart screams this. Like that's why she says it so much.
Do you know who the director of Powder is?
No.
I don't know him by name. But
You want me to look it up?
He went through a very interesting controversy because he was so low key and Disney hired him to direct that movie, Powder. Well, he was at that point either a convicted or a charged PDF.
Directed by Victor Salva.
So Victor Salva was a charged and possibly even convicted sex offender. And it didn't come out until after the movie came out. And somebody uncovered it and so he got Victor Salva.
Yeah. I forgot Jeff Goldblum's in that.
So the problem with Victor Salva is that, and he's I think he's something that like Hollywood remembers as a problem. Mm-hmm. So if you've got somebody who has a kind of past that's going to turn, so Powder got hit hard. Like it was this good idea and it had had good marketing, all this other stuff behind it. It was a Disney movie, I think, or a Warner Brothers, one of those big ones.
He directed since though, so that controversy didn't bury him.
Has he?
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Tell me more about the story though, because I don't know anything about
So
this.
anyway, this movie just blew up on Disney because of his past. And I think that's the issue that she'll run into. Now he got to hide because he was this like dude who's like, he has a lot of writing credits.
Yeah, so he did all of the Jeepers Creepers horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay, that was that was a huge thing for him. He just rode that all the way until very recently. His last one, Jeepers Creepers 3, was 2017.
Yeah.
And the franchise started in 2001.
Yeah.
But then he did a bunch of he directed a bunch of stuff in between. So whatever controversy you're talking about didn't end his career,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, and so maybe you're right. Or not maybe you're right, but maybe he'll have an opportunity to be okay. He's working with Amy Smart.
Who?
Selva.
Okay.
Like Amy Smart. His lead is a guy called, he's got Nick Nolte. He's working with Nick Nolte and Amy Smart. And I'm not saying that he's got Paul Wesley. Like, I'm not saying that as like he's working on these, he's got a finance, he's got like a Corman-esque kind of packaging gig that he can sell this. But Scott Mechlowitz, Nick Nolte, and Amy Smart.
Okay, what were you saying about him?
So, they're packing the theaters.
Yeah.
And he was, by the way, he went, he was working with, with Powder. He was at the top of the game. He was working with Disney.
Oh, so you're saying it did harm his career?
For sure.
Yeah, it just didn't.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, between Powder and Rites of Passage, 4 years. It's a pretty big gap.
Here's the thing, though, is like, so with Blake Lively, we're talking about somebody who had a smear campaign and a lawsuit, a retaliatory lawsuit, where they were really digging for any evidence that she was mean or like making demands or making threats. And they couldn't come up with a single shred of evidence where she had been rude to Justin Baldoni in writing herself.
No.
There was a lot of evidence where he is telling other people about how he has conflicts with her, but they haven't found anything from her. When there's a huge record of them collaborating over text message and writing everything that they're saying to each other down. So you'd think that if that had actually happened, it would have been in evidence that he can show people. And so I feel like at the end of all of this, I feel like anybody who is about to work with her, who at least has been following any part of this case for real, like actually reading any of the documents, is going to notice that she never misbehaved professionally with anybody that she was working with on that set. And that was under really fraught circumstances where she was constantly being harassed and having to complain about it. And even in the complaints, they never frame her complaints as if she's like raging about it. Like she's never pissed off and angry. The only time Justin Baldoni ever gets yelled at is by Ryan Reynolds when he's like, "What the fuck are you doing harassing my wife?" It's just like, so I just feel like it makes her look amazing. I would definitely not conduct myself so peacefully in the situation that we are talking about her being in this throughout the entire time. I would have lost my shit many times. It would have been on record. I would have to answer for that in the lawsuit. At least just as an accusation. Had the fucking smear campaign against me in a situation like that, they'd have a lot to work with. Because there's no way that I would just like be cool, Like she's definitely a professional. I'm amazed that she conducted herself so well. So yeah, I think that's the part of her reputation that she's going to be able to, that's going to carry her through, I think she seems like a super easy person to work with because look at the horrible circumstances she was in and she conducted herself really well.
I don't think that I don't think there's any problem with the industry. It's just about whether or not the market's going to accept her. That's going to be whether, that's going to decide whether or not she's going to work.
So the question is whether
they
she
don't
can
fucking
have acting
care.
jobs.
No, they don't care. They love her. They're like, great, I love you. You know how many nice people in Hollywood can't work because they can't bring any money in.
You say in Hollywood, but you're specifically talking about acting jobs for her?
Well, I think that I think she's sustained enough damage that her name can potentially be a problem. I think that it invokes the question, and by virtue of the fact that it does that, she's already at a disadvantage. Right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, Kindly DiCaprio said, regardless of the outcome, people will boycott her new movies because they've decided they don't like her.
Right. Yeah, I'm in at least some agreement with that. Like, boycott look, I think that she has an uphill battle ahead of her no matter what. Mm-hmm. I think that she's going to I think she has to win. I think the best opportunity for her to have the easiest path back is a jury verdict and strong press representation, meaning what might be perceived as objective writers attending the trial coming out with, and the evidence just keeps piling up against Mr. Baldoni. I think if that's the narrative coming out of this trial, coming out of the courtroom during the trial, and then that subsequently ending in a judgment with a fucking severe, amount of money, but even just all she needs is he's liable. All she needs to hear is those words. And then I think she still has a difficult path back because she's hated by this powerhouse of a social media toxic army.
I also feel like the numbers are overblown. I don't know how many people actually care about this. I feel like there's a lot more people that might enjoy seeing a movie that Blake Lively's in than there are people who give a shit about Blake Lively's controversy.
Well, here's where I will agree. I think that it's a matter of years.
Yeah.
For her, I think that
it won't matter.
I think she's got the ability to. I think she's going to come back eventually as an
I think
actor.
the same thing about Justin Baldoni too. And I'm
But
saying
she's
that,
also older now, and the roles are fewer and far between for her age. She barely got to Lily Bloom. Barely.
right. What do you think about Justin Baldoni too? What do you think he's going to do after this whole trial blows over to reclaim his reputation?
So Sydney Sweeney, Jeff Bezos had lobbied to get Sydney Sweeney, is lobbying now to get Sydney Sweeney to become a Bond girl. She's somebody in hot pursuit, and I think that
I liked her answer to that too. She was like, "I'd rather play James Bond."
Yeah,
Good for her.
Yeah. She rubs me the wrong way. Maybe that'll change down the road, but right now, me and Sydney Sweeney, I'm like, she just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
What does it have to do with Justin Baldoni?
Well, so what I'm saying is like, I think that there's a division happening in Hollywood. It's like where the Gina Garofalos, maybe the Sydney Sweeneys, and possibly the Justin Baldonis will live.
Gina Garofalo.
Isn't that her name? No, Carano.
Gina Carano.
Garofalo.
Right.
My bad.
She was like
She was a UFC fighter.
a UFC fighter who started doing like stunt roles.
And then she got canceled by
She was in
the
a
left,
Steven
which is
Soderbergh
absurd.
movie, wasn't she? Like she didn't she lead it was Haywire, I think was the title for
So
that movie that she led.
Yes, and
That was a weird movie.
and she got canceled in Hollywood for some of the things she was saying, I suppose, and taking like a far right stance and some things or something. And so she got canceled for that. I don't really know. I didn't really follow it that much. We weren't,
No, but she ended up suing her employers.
She did.
So that is one of the reasons why she burned that bridge completely. She was complaining that they wouldn't let her back, and then she sued them, and they're like, "Well, no, we definitely fucking won't let you."
Well, she actually won. And she got like she's actually working. But again, and this is where I think you asked where Justin Baldoni might have. I think he's gonna end up in this like world where they're doing this kind of these Nick Nolte movies. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be making movies like that. I don't think he's gonna be. He had access to the highest level of Hollywood, and he's never going to have that ever again. I don't think.
So I'm preparing like to do like a birth chart analysis on Justin Baldoni because I just think he's a super fascinating character, and and he's living his astrology chart very closely.
Right.
And he has so much emphasis on his public image, right? So like there's some sort of like destined path for him, some sort of like insatiable hunger of his to pursue a public image. I don't think he's ever going to stop. So like I don't think that his bad reputation is going to keep him from. So for better or for worse, whether his public image is that he's just keeps failing or he keeps like getting himself into trouble, that could be true too. But he's always going to, I think, based on what it looks like he was born under, it looks like he's just always going to be pursuing some sort of role in the public eye. We won't ever be rid of him.
I mean, I think this is the reality. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Why would he? He has extreme amount of fame. He has a large base. I mean, this is the same size base of fans that fuel people like, Candace Owens.
Right. So he could pivot into anything and they would follow him.
You know what I mean? So he's got like,
I know it.
He's got a movement behind him that, he probably is gathering the kind of people around him you'd think, at least, if I was working with him, I'd be like, okay, we got to start figuring out who we're going to put around you now.
Well, he is very bad at selecting advisors. So far, he's got a bunch of people who are fucking up his career completely. So who knows whether he's going to, get good coaching or not.
Yeah.
Who knows? Do you want me to put the pot on?
Kylie DiCaprio, yeah. Kylie DiCaprio recommends 5 Feet Apart. I heard it's a good movie. Yeah, I heard it's a good movie. Hey, listen, man, this is the thing about him, and this is why I called, I've constantly referred to this as like the biggest fumble I've ever seen in Hollywood. He had it all. He could act apparently well enough to hold down a series and to, be in a feature film like It Ends With Us and work alongside Blake Lively, who's a big movie star. If it doesn't matter if she's a big, giant, amazing actor or if she's like, more whatever you want to say. I don't know, more, I don't know, minimalist of an actor, I guess you could say. It's still a big deal. It's still an intimidating thing. You still have to put together your arc. He was capable of doing these things. So he obviously was immensely talented. to fumble this badly, to have all of this, to have a billionaire behind you, to have a religion behind you, to have all of Hollywood fucking throwing open the door and rolling out the carpet just to get you in the room so that you could pitch, so that they might just taste a little bit of that billionaire money you got. You know, and Steve Sarowitz, if you remember in his phone call, recently exposed phone call, or yeah, I guess Zoom call, he said in there, he talked about how much money he was losing. All that money that he was losing it at the hands of Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath. And by the way, it's not a slight on them to lose money. It's easy to lose money in entertainment. Yeah. Real fucking easy, you know? But they had that. That was the shit they had at their fingertips. And now, you know, that's going to be a very restricted thing. I think the biggest issue that he has, that he's faced with, that he would, you know, in terms of repairing his career would be trust. I don't know how any studio actor, like he's just going to have trust issues right out of the gate with everybody, you know, especially anybody with clout, people whose name, like
people
who's
who
going to
be smeared in a smear campaign if he has a disagreement with them and he decides that he wants to punish them for it.
The most precious thing A-list actors have is their reputation.
That's right.
If their reputation is in his hands, and Blake Lively, this is the truth about.
He's dangerous.
This is the trouble that DiCaprio's in with me, even though I don't have a voice like Blake Lively, obviously. But the trouble that he's in with me is, if I kind of lost my train of thought. Actually, I apologize.
No, it's you were talking about how he's dangerous because if he works with anybody who's A-list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like the higher up you are in your celebrity status, the more fragile your reputation is.
Let me cut you off because I don't want to forget it again. But yeah, it was all about, oh my God, is this going to happen? If this happens, I'm going to scream bloody hell. Justin Baldoni, it was all about, shit.
What are you talking about?
Well, because you started talking, I was like, no, I got it. And then you kept talking. This isn't your fault, of course. God damn it.
I was talking about how he's dangerous to A-list actors because he could ruin their reputation.
They're not going to trust him. A-list actors not going to trust him with their reputation because of what he did with Blake Lively. Blake Lively, every actor, Leonardo DiCaprio did, he entrusted his reputation with us. That's why he said before he left to go to do Marvin's Room, he said, make me look good, boys. Like, that's what he said because that's what's on their mind. That's what movie stars, that's what up-and-coming movie stars, that's what's on their fucking mind. And every time they choose to work with an actor, a director, a producer, a studio, an independent fucking filmmaker, doesn't matter what level they're at, every time, doesn't matter if they're a commercial product, a commercial director, whatever it is, any individual that they work with, they're in some level entrusting that individual with their reputation and trusting that individual with their potential, their potential wealth. And especially at that high level, like once it's already established, once you're a DiCaprio, a Lively, a whatever, and you've already got that established, motherfucker, bro, you fucked that up. You fucked that up. Look, Blake Lively was fine before this, dude. She was, everybody got their haters. I've been screaming bloody hell on DiCaprio for a fucking decade. Everybody's got their haters. But she was fine. She is not fine anymore.
Because of
Justin Baldoni.
Because he felt vindictive.
Exactly.
And he had the money to pay other people to ruin her.
And Hollywood watched everything that happened. They saw the website go up.
That's right.
They saw Brian Friedman go on the fucking tour.
So you're saying that he's never going to be allowed.
No one will ever trust their reputation with Justin Baldoni or Wayfair or anybody from Wayfair.
He can't be insured because he lies to his insurers.
Before we go, I got one more thing that I want to talk about because it's very interesting since we're on the topic of Leonardo DiCaprio in this like sort of slight way. I said in this live, I got to go fucking dig through my goddamn archive now and put it together because I said, watch this movie. This movie might come back. This movie is now, one battle after another. Leonardo DiCaprio's One Battle After Another is now almost at $200 million worldwide box office. It has pulled down $120 million, almost $120 million overseas. It is not doing well in America. It's a bomb here. It's $65 million, so it's a relative bomb here. But it's still not dead here because that little faint heartbeat that it's got is being fed by a very rich blood coming out of these overseas numbers and these other overseas fans. So One Battle After Another is a movie that is far from dead. It has the potential. Now they were talking about, it's going to be a $130 million loss. It is already under 90. And its run hasn't, and the awards season run hasn't even really begun because all they got was the Gotham Awards out, which I'm surprised they got nominated at all. I cannot believe that they don't have a budget limit. Like, let's pretend $100 million is like, at $100 million, it can't be an independent film anymore. Like, how about if you have over $100 million in every fucking major movie fucking star of the last fucking 20 years in your movie, that maybe that's not an independent movie.
But you're bringing up this movie saying that like it was fake news that they said that the movie was going to bomb.
No, I'm saying that I'm the guy, I'm the genius here. I said watch this movie because here I'm fucking genius. No, stop. I knew as soon as I said it that was trouble. What I'm saying,
I think you are.
Thank you. What I'm saying is that's very kind of you. You're just why it's love. It's love. Listen, that's what I'm saying though. Is I've been saying from the beginning that Leonardo DiCaprio's movie is bigger than himself.
Okay.
And that I think that the bond that we have here in America is because of his reputation.
Oh, you're saying
this film is living.
You're saying it didn't do well in the States because he has a bad reputation in the States, but it's
because
doing well in Europe and other markets because nobody cares.
And you know, Europe. A lot of Europe looks at like sex stuff unless there are real victims, right? And I'm not saying that there aren't in ditties, but like they're not going to pin necessarily victims on.
Well, Europe's also not a monolith.
DiCaprio.
There's like very, very stark cultural differences between the countries.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Especially as it relates to things like this, like these kinds of matters, they'll be like, if there's, anyway, I don't want to get into that too much, but Leonardo DiCaprio's movie is fighting like hell to survive. Talk about one battle after another. It's actually surviving one battle after another.
Oh, I know. They cursed it with the name, huh?
It's surviving and it's doing extremely well. It's down to maybe a $90 million loss. And the award season haven't even really begun. So I think it still has another $100 million potential on the table, which means that if it gets out of the theatrical with a loss of less than $50 million, they're going to feel really good about that. And the movie's going to do, that.
You think they're going to feel good about a loss of $50 million?
Well, compared to what they might have been looking at, they were obviously looking for a much better win. But I think that, when they got the $22 million open and when they got the 53% drop and the Taylor Swift smack, I mean, Taylor Swift came up and just put a boot right in his, a stiletto right in his fucking like face.
I know.
It was
stiletto.
She literally.
That was a little gift to you, right?
Stole $33 million of box office out of that weekend that, can never be replaced. So he got a hit there. I mean, just bad things happened to him. And to see it kind of rebound is, to me, a fascinating thing to watch the power of cinema because. And this is what's important to me because I've said in my open letter, I said, you are not bigger to Leonardo DiCaprio. I said, you are not bigger than the movies in which you act. I said that in my letter and I was very and I was like, you're not bigger than Don's Plum. Don's Plum is bigger than fucking you. You're going to be dead and gone. And Don's Plum will be still playing on people's computers around the world.
Well, that's true. And also he was there for fucking like 3 nights of the entire lifetime of the creation of that movie. It's like fucking small beans,
So here's another situation where even though his reputation is harmed, we see the movie rising above that. And to me, that's really super exciting because they're calling it a seminal film for Paul Thomas Anderson. They're saying it's potentially the best film he's ever fucking made. It is the highest rated movie of the year. And the fucking Gotham Awards couldn't keep their hands off of it, nominating it more than any other movie of the year.
But not him.
But they did exactly. And here we are in America and Gotham saying not to you. And I'm so glad you brought that up. So Gotham says no for fucking DiCaprio. Gotham, right? They are an independent film awards organization or whatever it is. And I've always said that this guy spat in the face of independent film.
I know. I hope they do it. They did it for
So let's see what happens.
Reason.
Right. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he gets nominated by all the establishment. And if the non-establishment is like, we're not going to turn our back on our boy PTA. We've loved him from the fucking word go. We're not going to turn our back on our man.
Right.
But fuck you. I mean, it'll be just interesting to see how that rolls out.
Dinosaur has a question for you.
Okay. Yes.
Dinosaur is with us today. It's nice.
Yes. It's good to see you, Dinosaur.
Are actors all crazy people to some extent? They sound very nervous, like very nervous, obsessed people, like paranoid.
I think like artists are definitely, more peculiar than most demographics. I think like if you were like to put them all in a room and you were saying
actors seem like they're under so much fucking pressure.
Yeah, they're very stressed out. They want something they know isn't even good for them. They want fame. And
and it's horrible.
They know it's not good for them. I mean, almost all famous people will tell you, if I could have everything but the fame, I would take it in a minute.
Yeah.
Because the fame sucks. So I think that actors are probably on, by and large, crazier than say any other like demographic, probably in arts or otherwise.
It's just like
But they're all fucking crazy.
It's one of the craziest. Like, okay, so think about being an actor. It's like an interpretive art form, but the interpretation you're doing is humans. Like, yeah, that's gonna make you kind of nuts.
And you know, you spend so much of your life being judged by so many people all at once.
Oh yeah, there's so much fucking rejection. You have to be kind of psycho to endure that much rejection and keep going and keep trying to do the thing. Like you have to. There is a fundamental human quality that we all share, and that is that we will all avoid punishment. Everybody. It's like one of the biggest motivating factors of anything that we ever do is that we are all going to avoid punishment. But actors continuously, repeatedly get punished by rejection, and they have to just jump right back in, and you have to be kind of nuts to do that. You have to be like kind of like sociopathic. You have to not care about the thing that the rest of us deeply care about, and that is the fear of rejection.
You guys are the best people on earth. You're incredible. You brought these stories today that I did not even see coming. They were so exciting and fun. I'm going to digitize this tonight. I'm going to cut on it right away because, man, those should have been the headlines for the
disease monkeys.
They should have been the thumbnails.
Loose in Mississippi.
Oh man, and robots are folding your laundry. So just thank you so much because I really had a great time tonight, and you're really the big reason for that because those stories were just absolutely fucking fire, as they say. So thank you so much for bringing those, Angela. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting us or understanding why we bow out a little early. We're gonna go watch the Blue Jays beat them fucking Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, and they're gonna take it back to TO, and they're gonna bring that trophy home, and then Donald Trump's gonna say something really mean about Canadians and probably slap another tariff on them, but they don't fucking care. I love you guys, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
You guys are the best. Bye-bye.